year's summer season is over. But not to worry, there are a few big blockbusters coming out soon, such as Thor the Dark World, The Hobbit, The Desolation with Smaug, and others which, you'll find out soon enough. So yeah, but the summer movie season normally is always the best. Now, here I'm going to talk about some movies, 8 of which I want to go through of my favourite summer movies this year. And as you but you'll know that Star Trek Into Darkness is like my favourite movie of the year, and I did just go and buy the box set of Star Trek and Into Darkness for myself. And that won't be on the list because it wasn't a summer movie. I'm talking about movies that came out from June to August and the start of this year, so this month. So it will be movies from last month, July and June, but not before. So Iron Man 3 won't be on there. Star Trek Into Darkness isn't on there, and other movies which came out before, such as The Place Beyond the Pines, which they'll all be on my top 10 list of the year, which will be coming at the end of this year. So yeah, here's my top 8 movies of the summer season, not before. Bear that in mind. And I just wanted to add, before you start saying, where's this certain movie, it should be on there, it's on my list, this is my own list. And with people saying, where's Man of Steel? Man of Steel should be on here. I didn't like Man of Steel as much as I wanted to. I wanted to love the movie. I wanted it to be on this list. I just can't fit it onto the list because there are other movies that were better that came out. And I just think the movie's so flawed. And movies don't go without flawed. But Man of Steel was a disappointment for me. In my initial review, I think I gave it 4. And I'm saying it's a good movie, but not any more than good. I'm going to, if I reviewed it now, I'm probably going to give it 3. It's just I wanted to love the movie so much. And I just didn't. So yeah, that's why it's not on the list. So don't go complaining at me that it's not on here. These are the movies that are my top picks. Let me know down below what your top picks for the summer are, whether it be top 10, top 8, top 5. Let me know. And yeah, so let's get on with number 8.
First kaiju made land in San Francisco. The second attack hit Manila. And then the third one hit Cabo. And then we learned this was not gonna stop. In order to fight monsters, we created monsters of our own. We needed a new weapon. The Jaeger program was born.
Just to start off, with each movie in this list, I'm not actually going to go through and review the movie because I've done it with like every movie in this list I've already reviewed. I've reviewed from Iron Man 3 all the way up to We're the Millers. So I'm not going to give you a review. I'm just going to say what I liked about the movie, why it's on my list, and so yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about. So we start off this list with an explosive bang. We are given Pacific Rim, a movie where basically monsters come up from the Pacific Rim, which is the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. They come up, start destroying the world. So robots are created with humans inside to fight them, and we get a huge battle between robots and monsters. It does what it says on the tin. It gives us explosive action, and when I first saw, the trailer for the movie, I was like, this is definitely a rip-off of Transformers. But then I saw, I saw a preview, and then I saw like a proper trailer, a proper main trailer, and I was like, yeah, I'm getting pretty excited for this movie. I think it's going to be great. And I saw all the reviews, I was like, I'm definitely seeing this, and I saw it and I wasn't disappointed. Explosive action, it does what it tells you that it's going to do. It doesn't rip off Transformers, it doesn't rip off any movie, it's just its own movie. And yeah, it's just like a huge testosterone fueled ride. If you're a guy and you like explosions and you like the Transformers movies, this is the movie for you. I recommend it highly. It would have been higher up, but halfway through the movie, the plot sort of delves into other things. Like, it's not fighting robots and stuff, it just delves into rubbish, which, but that doesn't really matter. There's this one guy, Boris Chow, who's like, not Boris Chow, I was thinking of Boris the Animal from Men in Black, who he looks exactly like. No, his name's, I don't know, it's something Chow. And he's a really cool character, but as he's introduced into the movie sort of delves into other things, and you're like, okay, we just want to see more fighting robots, but then when we get the action, we're given the action, and that could have made the movie a 5-star movie. But as it is, I give it a solid 4 out of 5, and I'm going to say it is definitely worth going to see. I highly recommend it. It's just awesome, action-fueled fun. And yeah, it definitely deserves to be on this list, whether it's at the bottom or the top. So yeah, first off, to start off the list, we have Pacific Rim. So let's move on.
The edge of our hope. The end of our time. We've chosen to believe in each other. The day we face the monsters that are at our door. Today we are canceling the apocalypse.
Alan, we're being taken over.
So, Pat, no one's getting sacked.
Just like Pat.
Just gave me 30 minutes to clear out my locker.
Hello? Pat?
There's only one person, Pat, who's willing to talk to you.
Cool.
Will you help us?
Guys, none of us choose the hand we're dealt.
We do need an answer, I'm afraid.
Why do you have another siege to go to?
So on this second on the list, which is number 7, a movie which I wasn't too sure about when I first saw the trailer, but as I saw, you know, it looked hilarious at parts. You know, I thought it could go in the way that a certain movie in 2012 went in. I'm not going to mention any names. Keith Lemon, the film. This movie was Alan Partridge, Alpha Papa. The character Alan Partridge is really like famous in Britain for Steve Coogan's like he is. I said that a bit weird. He is Steve Coogan's most famous character, and he is very famous over here in the UK. He had a hilarious show called I'm Alan Partridge, where he started with Knowing Me, Knowing You, which was when Alan was a TV presenter. But then he became a radio presenter, and he got absolutely brilliant. And that is what this movie is based on. It's based on him, like, sort of getting the threat of being fired. So he gets Pat Farrell, who was in the original television series. So if you've seen that, you'll know who Pat Farrell is. And yeah, he gets Pat fired instead of himself, and then Pat takes all the staff hostage, and the only person he will talk to is Alan, causing a siege at Radio Norfolk Digital, and it makes for some pretty hilarious moments. This is definitely my third favourite comedy of the year. Why third? You'll see why later on. But this movie had me, like, at certain parts, almost in tears from laughter. It is hilarious. It is a brilliant movie. I thought, you know, the step up from like radio presenter to like siege guy, you know, sort of action and everything, I thought it could be pretty, you know, too much for the character, but it wasn't. It was great, and I'm really glad they took this move because it made for like hilarious sequences involving Alan. And this is definitely a full-on Alan Partridge movie. You've got Pat Farrell, you've got Alan's secretary, Lynn, but the movie definitely focuses on Alan, and it is an Alan movie, and I'm really glad that they did that, and they didn't focus too much on other characters. And Steve Coogan is great as the character, as he always was. So if you're a fan of Steve Coogan, you're a fan of Alan Partridge, or you just love British humour, or just love good funny comedy, see it. It is definitely worth seeing, and it really definitely like deserves its place on this list as number 7. Why it's not higher up? There's better movies, but the movie's great, so go and see it if you can. You know, from what you've seen in that trailer that I just showed, like before this, you can see it's going to be pretty hilarious. And there's like a part coming up, just like, because I'm going to show 2 different parts of the trailer. There's a part coming up now which just shows the sort of humour that will be in the movie. So if you didn't like that, you didn't find that funny, maybe you won't find the movie funny. But I found it hilarious, and that's why it is number 7 on my list. So moving on to number 6.
Home in bed watching funny videos on YouTube.
Have you seen Fat Woman Falls Down Hole?
That should be fenced off, really, but I'm glad it wasn't.
Trust me, Bob. You don't want what I've got. I'm not ready to die.
You're bleeding.
Number 6, another movie that I didn't think would be that good, but it turned out to be great. That is The Wolverine. I thought it was going to be a sequel to X-Men Origins Wolverine, and of course it is a sequel because it takes place after it, but it takes place after X-Men The Last Stand. So it's a sequel to that instead of a full-on sequel to X-Men Origins. And X-Men Origins obviously wasn't that good. They focused on other characters who sucked, and they didn't focus too much on Wolverine's origin, which the movie was supposed to do. But The Wolverine is great. it is solely a Wolverine movie. He is like the sole purpose of the movie. They don't add in other characters for fanboy purposes. It's just Wolverine, and he's become a Japanese. Well, he tries to become, not tries. That's not quite the right word. He's like recruited to become a Japanese samurai. So he's in Japan, and there's this guy who he saved this guy's life like previously, and this guy wants to repay him by making him mortal, which isn't much of a repayment. If you're like immortal, why would you want to be mortal? But Wolverine thinks, you know, my life isn't like going to be that great if I carry on living this way. I want to die at some point. So he takes on this opportunity, and then the movie just delves into awesome action scenes, great fun, you know. It's definitely better than X-Men Origins. It's probably one of the strongest of the X-Men series. It's not the best of the X-Men series, but it's up there. It is great. I recommend you see it. I mean, it's not as good as like certain other superhero movies this year, but it was better than Man of Steel for definite. Better than Iron Man 3, I'm not quite sure, but Iron Man 3 isn't even going to be on this list because that came out in April. But the Wolverine is definitely worth checking out. And if you're a fan of other X-Men movies, this movie will not disappoint you. So I do recommend you see it if you're a fan of Marvel and Wolverine and the X-Men. But no, there aren't any cameos from other characters apart from in the end credit sequence. I'm not going to tell you right now, but if you want to know, I have made a video on that. So yeah, check that out if you feel like it. But yeah, the Wolverine is just an insanely fun time of like this summer. So go and see it. I give it a solid 4 out of 5. Not as good as like, let's say, I'd say Iron Man 3 is better, but this movie's great anyway. I think you will really enjoy it if you, as I've said, if you're a comic book fan. So yeah, let's move on.
We will accept your surrender with respect. Is that all the men you brought? Your grandfather called me a Ronin. Samurai without a master. Who has no reason to live.
Was he right?
Monsters University! Anybody getting off?
I'm officially a college student! I've been waiting for this my whole life. I'm gonna be a scarer!
Okay, everyone, I'll be giving you your orientation on this perfect day!
Hey, hey, hey! Come join the improv club! Oh, man! I can't be late on the first day!
At number 5 is Monsters University. Stop laughing at me. Monsters University was an incredibly good movie. It was the sequel to, well, not the sequel, the prequel to Monsters Inc. And it's just great. It's not as good as Monsters Inc., but Monsters Inc. is awesome. It's like a movie that cannot be beaten. Like, for Pixar. I suppose it kind of did get beaten with Up and Toy Story. But it's just a great, like, family movie. So, yeah. Monsters University does live up to the first one's, like, the hype that it had from the first one. It isn't as good as the first one, of course, but nobody expected it to be. It's its own movie, and it has its own sort of things. It's Pixar's first prequel, which was a bold move, and it kind of, you know, you think it didn't really need to be made, but it did. I mean, we see the origins of Mike and Sully's friendship. It's fun to see. I think it's a better option than making a sequel, because everyone wanted the sequel, and they thought, you know, we'll give them the sequel, but we can't really think of anything for a sequel, so let's just give them a prequel, and it worked. There's some new characters such as Squishy and Don Carlton, who are great. They're great additions to the series. And Mike and Sully, of course, the sole purposes of the movie, they're great. John Goodman and Billy Crystal lend their voices again, and they sound great. Like, they sound like college students, even though they're in their, like, 60s, which was really cool. So, yeah. If you want to see a good family movie this summer, and you're thinking Monsters University, Despicable Me 2, Monsters University. Despicable Me 2 is a good time, it's a good movie, but it doesn't live up to Monsters University. This is the animation of the year. So, yeah. That's what it is. So you're thinking of seeing an animated movie, well, the summer's over, but if you're thinking of seeing an animated movie now, I think Monsters University is still out there. So just go and check it out. And I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of 5 for the entertainment, for the fun. Like, the Pixar showed they are mortal with Cars 2, which wasn't great. and Brave, which it won an Oscar, but I didn't think it was great. I think Wreck-It Ralph should have got the Oscar. But yeah, Pixar did show that they were mortal, and with Monsters University, they again vamped up their immortality. Well, yeah, it's not as good as some of their movies, but it's great. So I recommend you go and check that out if you're thinking of seeing a family movie or whatever. And it'd be worth buying on Blu-ray too. I'll probably get it. So yeah, number 5, Monsters University. Just to add in there, if you were going to see it for anything, see it for the nostalgia. Because if, like me, you grew up with movies such as Monsters Inc., this movie, it will bring back memories. When Mike first steps up onto that scare floor, you'll be like, yeah, I remember this. So if you're going to see it for anything, the nostalgia, it will be worth it. So yeah, thumbs up for the nostalgia.
James P. Sullivan.
Mike Wazowski. Well, now that we've been introduced... You don't think I'm scary.
You're not even in the same league with me. Your hands are as big as my face.
That is crazy!
Jack, calm down.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna scare circles around you this year.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, scary.
Have fun, kids. I'll just be here listening to my tunes.
The answer is C. A bowl of spiders. Correct.
I'm gonna wipe the floor with that little know-it-all.
Max DeCosta, 36 years old. Violation today at bus stop 34B. What's in the bag?
Hair products, mostly. I'm just gonna, hey, just going to work.
Thank you, citizen.
No, thank you.
Immediate extension of parole duration by a further 8 months.
What? No.
Elevation in heart rate detected. Would you like a pill?
No, I am okay. Thank you.
Are you being sarcastic and/or abusive?
Negative.
4 is Elysium, which was an incredibly fun movie. District 9 was awesome. It had the emotional sort of context to it, and you get, it had the big political message about it and all that. But Elysium sort of delves away from that. It still has its own little political message. It still has its slight level of emotion, apart from Jodie Foster, because she has an emotionless expression and voice through the whole movie, and her acting is terrible in this movie. I hate to say it, but she almost ruined the movie, but she didn't quite, because it's still number 4 on this, because the action's great. Matt Damon is great. I said great. Am I Scottish now? No, the action was great. Matt Damon was great. Sharlto Copley, who was the main person in District 9, he was great in it as Kruger. But his accent did get kind of I'm not gonna say the movie was bad because of his accent, because then it'd just be terrible. Because Jodie Foster was bad. Sharlto Copley was good though. It was I don't think it's his natural accent, because I understood him fully in District 9, but in parts you're like, what did he just say? But anyway. Other than that, it's a great movie. Sharlto Copley's character is just the best character. I'd say he's the best part of the movie, because he's this sort of agent, and he's set to take down Matt Damon, but he's the most dangerous guy, and he can't die because he lives up on Elysium, so he just gets sort of repaired. His face gets blown off by a grenade, but he goes up to Elysium and they just fix him up straight away, and it's he's unstoppable, which is really cool to see. And Matt Damon's this mortal guy against this immortal guy. It was cool to see that sort of thing. I mean, that Matt Damon's going to win in the end anyway, but it was really cool, that sort of concept to it. And yeah, it does definitely deserve to be on the list. It's the halfway point of the list, and the other ones before it are the real heavy hitters for me. But yeah, this one was cool to see. Great and stunning visuals. I mean, District 9 had a better story to it, and I'd say that the sort of visuals were better for that one, because they were so natural and more realistic and everything. But this one was really good. The action was vamped up. The sort of the visuals were vamped up, even though I preferred District 9's. And yeah, if you like District 9, you're gonna like this one. I think I don't think you'll like it as much as District 9 if you're a fan of it like me, but you'll like this one. This one was a really good movie, and it's again a solid 4. Most of these I've given a 4. But yeah, very enjoyable movies that have been so far, and 3 more to go. So let's carry on.
Activate Kruger.
Follow me. Stay close. They will
full of superheroes, huh? Where do they get a load of me? I am gonna make Kick-Ass pay for what he did to my dad. I'm building an evil army.
Who is this guy?
He's going to be the world's first real supervillain.
We're putting an end to this costume freak. If they're wearing a mask, they're getting detained.
Promise me that you will never dress up in that outfit.
So at number 3, a movie which critics have sort of slated in a way, but the first one, called Kick-Ass, it was awesome. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's one of those movies I can just watch again and again. It's incredibly fun, and Kick-Ass 2 is no exception. It is like an insanely good time at cinema this year. Like there are just more action. I mean, the comedy's not really there as much as the first one. This one takes a more emotional turn. When your main villain's called the Motherfucker and a man gets his like penis bitten by a dog, you can't take a movie too seriously. Critics didn't like it because CGI vomit and poo apparently is bad, and you know, stuff like that, and sort of crude humor isn't good. Well, why do critics love Superbad and stuff like that? I love Superbad, but I'm saying this movie is incredibly fun, and I even went out and bought a t-shirt after seeing this of Kick-Ass. So why would critics hate on it if they love the first one? The first one is incredibly good, and this one isn't as good as the first one, but this one's action is like, it's insane. And it's just incredibly fun to watch these characters, you know, it's incredibly fun to watch Red Mist, like, go to the dark side, and it's incredibly fun to see Kick-Ass and Hit Girl sort of face retirement, and, like, it's really fun to see stuff like that. I mean, you know the way in the Batman series, when, like, Batman sort of, people think he's bad now, that's what sort of happens with these superheroes. It sort of takes, I'd say it takes inspiration from movies such as The Dark Knight. I mean, obviously, it's not a Dark Knight quality, of course. I mean, you don't go into these sort of movies expecting Dark Knight quality. You just expect a fun time with some good action, a few laughs here and there. That's what you get with this. And Jim Carrey's great. Although he's not in the movie as much as I'd wanted him to be, he was great in it. And Chloe Moretz just gives the performance of her career the second time around. Aaron Johnson is great. You know, every actor, all the superheroes in the movie that are added into it, and even the villains, they're all great. Like there's Mother Russia that they've added in, who is just incredible. There's Motherfucker, of course, who is Red Mist from the first one, but he's now a villain. It's just every like new character and every old character, they just mix together so well, and it makes the movie so much fun to watch. And even, you know, if you've seen the trailer, you can't go into this movie expecting to hate it, and it's just impossible to hate a movie like this. It's just such a great time this year. I mean, it is definitely deserving on this list of the top films of the summer, and I think it is incredibly underrated. It could turn out to be the most underrated movie of the year. So, you know, critics, what are you talking about? I don't mean to disrespect anyone here, but if you didn't like this movie, what's wrong with you? You liked the first one, so come on. This one deserves more credit. Get it up to a fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Do what you can. This movie's great. Go and see it. Make it earn money. I want to see a Kick-Ass 3, and from the ending you will get one. So, yeah. I'm going to stop ranting about how critics didn't like it and just say it's insanely fun, and it's definitely worth checking out. And it's still out now, so go and see it if you haven't yet. And make sure you check out my video highlighting all the spoilers if you see it. And I've compared it to the comic and everything. It's incredibly different from the comic, both of them are, but it's still a lot of fun, and it's very cool to see these characters, you know, develop in a new sort of way. So Kick-Ass 2 is number 3 on my list.
What's the verdict?
There's no room for punks in suits. Just real heroes who can really kick ass.
Who the hell are you?
We're the good guys.
You're the dead guys. Franz, wieder. Oh, Jesus!
Yeah, there's a dog on your back.
And we're back. Just like the 5 Musketeers.
3 Musketeers, isn't it? Well, nobody knows how many there were, really, do they?
You do know that the Three Musketeers is a fiction, right? Written by Alexander Dumas.
A lot of people are saying that about the Bible these days.
What, that it was written by Alexander Dumas?
Don't be daft, Steve. It was written by Jesus.
Are we there yet?
Let's do this!
they haven't seen each other in 20 years.
I'm free to do what I want.
But tonight, they're returning to their hometown to finish the ultimate pub crawl.
This is our chance to finally conquer the Golden Mile. 12 pubs, 12 pints.
And this time, they're going to make it to the last pub, the World's End.
At number 2 is one of the most anticipated movies of the year for me. It is The World's End. I've seen it now, and it is great. That's why it's number 2 on my list. It would have been number 1, but there was a similar sort of movie that made it there. But this one, again, takes place in a pub, which will bring back a sense of nostalgia for the fans of Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. I mean, Shaun of the Dead is one of those, like Kick-Ass, one of the movies I can just watch again and again and just love. And The World's End will probably be the same when I buy it. I'll probably watch it a few times. I'll probably love it the first few times and then get bored of it and then go again and watch it and love it again like it did with Shaun of the Dead. This movie is incredibly fun, and the movie takes place with 12 pub crawls, and then the characters, including Simon Pegg as Gary King and Nick Frost, and Martin Freeman's in it, Rosamund Pike, all these characters, they realise that the town has turned into robots instead of zombies or crazy hooded guys like the other ones. And this movie just brings back so much to the table. It's one of those movies that, you know, it's not there to be taken too seriously, but if you don't take it seriously at all, you're not going to enjoy it as much. But it's just, you know, sit back and watch it. You need to, it's not one of those movies you can switch off your brain and just watch. You have to think about it in a way when the ending comes across. And that, it could be enough to ruin it for fans of the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy, but not for me. I love the ending. And it's definitely Simon Pegg's performance of his career. He's great. At first, he comes off as initially unlikable, and you're like, you know, I don't really know if I'm going to enjoy this movie as much as I want to. But as the movie unfolds and you get to know the character more, he comes across as really cool and a really good character. So The World's End definitely deserves to be on this list. It's incredibly hilarious. The action scenes are great, and it definitely sort of lives up to its hype. It's not as good as Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, but did you really expect it to be? Most sequels aren't as good as the first. Some are, such as Terminator and stuff like that, but you know, this isn't even a sequel. It's just like, that's what I love about the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy. None of the movies mix together like, I mean, they mix together well because they've got the sort of added elements like the fences and the pubs, but they're not the same. So that's what I really liked. I liked how you can't, like The Hangover, that trilogy just stayed the same, and that's until the third one came along and made it all different. But this one didn't do that. They didn't have to make, you know, it different for people to enjoy it more. It just, they're all naturally different, but they're still part of a trilogy, which is really clever. And I think, you know, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, this is what has made their career. This is why Simon Pegg was in the Star Trek movies, because of Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. And this is why Edgar Wright will be directing a Marvel movie, because he made this trilogy, and everyone will remember them for that. So I'm going to say well done for your trilogy, guys. It was awesome. You won't even watch this video, so I don't know why I'm talking to you. But this was an awesome film, and it definitely deserves to be number 2 on my list. So let's move on to the moment you've been waiting for. Number 1.
James, it's the town. What are you doing?
It's all right, I'm not trying to have sex with you. There's something I need to tell you right now. Unless you do want to have sex, in which case I'll tell you afterwards.
Tell me right now. What did he say, sir? Newton Haven has been taken over by robots. Did you believe him?
We should head back to London.
A, we're all drunk. B, we've got blood on our hands.
It's more like ink.
We've got ink on our hands.
From the creators of Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
Let's climb down the drain pipe.
I got a better idea. Climb down the drain pipe.
I have the best weekend ever planned. James Franco's having a giant party.
Yes!
Everybody drunk out.
Oh my god, if I don't fuck Michael Cera tonight, I'm gonna blow my brains out.
What's up, Brianna?
What?
Fucking pale, 110 pounds, hairless, probably has a huge cock.
Don't fucking touch my bumper, bitch.
It's a weird phase.
So hot.
Everybody in the club is
Oh! What did you just fucking blow on me?
Don't worry, it's just heroin.
Are you shitting me?
I'm just kidding, it's cocaine. But that's still very bad.
What the fuck? Come on, get out!
Greg!
It's too late for you. You're already in the hole.
I swear to you, it's pure coincidence that these two movies have like completely similar sounding titles. They're different movies altogether, and this one was even more hilarious than the last. It could be interchangeable with number 2, but I have to pick a favorite, and I'm gonna say this is the number 1 on my list of summer movies because this is the end, because it is absolutely hilarious to the point of like cringing and crying, and it's one of those movies when you watch it you're laughing, and like one scene happens and you're laughing, and then you stop laughing for about 30 seconds and another thing happens and you start laughing again. It's like by the end of it you actually ache from laughing so much, and that's what I love from a movie. I mean, This Is the End features James Franco, Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill, Jay Baruchel, Craig Robinson, and Danny McBride, who is the standout character in this. Danny McBride is great. But the good thing is they all play themselves, and there's brilliant cameos. My favourite is Michael Cera. He's hilarious. Like, he's on coke. Whoever thought of that is a genius. And then there's like Jason Segel. There's Martin Starr, who was in Knocked Up. There's all these characters, and there's Christopher Mintz-Plasse, and like Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Jonah Hill, and Michael Cera like share a scene together, which is really cool. And I love how they added like references to the actors. James Franco, there's references to him being gay, and then there's the references to Seth Rogen like smoking weed in every movie. I mean, I think I've seen one movie where he doesn't smoke weed, and that was Zack and Miri Make a Porno. But even then, it's heavily implied that he was a stoner. So yeah, This Is the End is just the genuine comedy of it is just great. It's one of the funniest movies you'll ever watch. It's one of the funniest movies I've seen since God knows when. It's just so funny and so pure and so genuine and just so original. Like, Jonah Hill's this really sweet sort of guy, and like, it's just, they're so different from their movie lives, but that's what you expect. That's what you expect them to be like. And they've really paid attention to what the press has said about them, and they've really like done it in this movie. They've really like said, oh, the press said that I'm a stoner and I do the same thing in every movie. My name's Seth Rogen. Hey, you know what? Let's like play on that in the movie and just do something hilarious. And there's like references to all their movies. Like, James Franco keeps all his props. He has like the arm from 127 Hours, and he has like the pistol from Flyboys. It's really cool, like the way that they've done these sort of subtle references. Well, they're not even that subtle, but these sort of references to their other movies. And then Danny McBride is hilarious. Every scene he's in, you're laughing at. And there's just this brilliant cameo from Channing Tatum. I won't say what he does, but you'll be creasing. So yeah, number 1, definitely This Is the End. It definitely deserves to be my number 1. It's brilliant, it's original, it's hilarious, and it is the funniest movie of the year. It's the funniest movie for years. So yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, why not? See it now. I don't even care. You can legally watch it on the internet. I shouldn't have said that. But just see it, when it comes out on Blu-ray, you get out there and buy it if you haven't seen it yet. And if you have seen it yet, go and buy it. So, yeah, let me know what your... I'll say that in a minute, Hold on.
The sheriff's office is urging people to stay in their homes right now.
Siegel's dead. Krumholtz is dead. Michael Cera's dead.
Is it bad?
It's already going crazy out there, guys. I'm not leaving, okay? I'm a victim. When I was a kid, I had man titties. The bullies held me down. They titty fucked me.
We are actors. We pretend to be hard, man.
Yeah.
We solved this baby shit.
Helicopter. It's gonna be fine. Oh, you okay?
No, I'm not okay. Fuck your house, Franco.
What you got, son? We should just stay in here, fortify this bitch, and take inventory of all the food and shit we have.
We got 12 bottles of water, 56 beers, half-ounce sour diesel, 1 ounce of shrooms, CT Crunch, a Milky Way.
Can I have that Milky Way? No, you can't have the Milky Way. It's my special food. I like it.
I want some of the Milky Way.
I'd be pretty bummed if I don't at least get a bite of the Milky Way.
What you got, son? This is my game. This is my lane. Get out of the way. What you want, hun? What the hell? Oh my God!
Emma Watson showed up.
Give me everything you have to drink.
There are 6 of us. You cannot rob us.
I'm not fucking around.
Go get the drinks.
Hermione just stole all of our shit.
Please, you've got to let me in. Things have gone crazy out here.
I'm sorry, we just don't know you, man. You could be like a looter or a rapist or a titty fucker.
I'm not a rapist.
You gonna titty fuck us?
If you want me to titty fuck you, I will. So good. Oh, you love it. There's something out here.
what I was going to say is let me know what your top picks for the summer are. Do you agree with my list? If not, let me know why not and what your picks would be. And thank you for watching. I'll see you again. And I'm very near to completing Saints Row 4. So very soon I'll be bringing you a review of that. So look out for it. And yeah, again, thank you for watching. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.